We've been impressed with the teams that we have out there. We have extraordinary franchisees and company operators that have been very scrappy in these challenging times. One, to look out for our employees and our guest safety, but also to build the business and take care of the communities that we serve. Denny's On Demand, go to dennys.com to order online, has been very popular. Our third-party delivery partners have done a great job serving our products, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night in the communities we serve. But also, as those restrictions have lifted, we've seen a lot of interest, even in waiting to come into the dining room with 25 or 50% open. And that interest continues to grow. We've been heartened by these measures, one, to keep the public safe. For instance, in Texas, there was also a rollback, much like California. But with that rollback and social distancing and masking, gloves, and sanitation protocols we have in our restaurants, guests have been willing to wait on the busier weekends to come in to have a dining room table. And so we do need to hire about 10,000 employees across the country right now.
Yeah, when you say hire 10,000 employees, is that rehire? Did you have to let people go in the midst of store closings, or are these brand new hires on top of?
No, well, it'll be brand new, a little bit of both. Obviously, at one point, I'd say we furloughed as many as 70% of our staff were down in weekly comparisons. If you go all the way back to the beginning of the pandemic, and that's been reduced to, maybe anywhere from 40 to 60% off, depending on what area of the country. And then as that continues to improve, it'll be a combination of people coming back off of furlough or new employees starting.
Are you worried, John, at all about potential lawsuits, whether that's from your employees or from customers, if cases do start to spike and they're linked to your restaurants?
I think that the restaurant industry has not just a habit or a but strong protocols for keeping the public safe. Remember that everything from E. coli to employees that could be, would be, might be infected by coming to work sick, all of those, it's normal for us to manage those sorts of things. And if you look at the practice inside our brand and really throughout the chain industry in particular, you see the number of cases from very dangerous and very contagious diseases is very, very low in contraction from the restaurant industry. So from keeping the employees and public safe is something that's part of what we do. We understand the CDC guidelines. We understand how to implement those. And I would say that is the lower end of our concern right now. The higher end of the concern, of course, is a dining public that may not know how to social distance. So or be in an environment where they touch their face without sanitizing their hands and the like. So our mask and sanitation protocol, the ability to make the solutions available to all of our guest employees, single-use menus, QR codes for downloading menus, we believe that those go a great distance to keep the public safe. And I would even dare say that oftentimes we may be a safer environment than some other options the guests may have. But it is a legitimate question in light of the times.
Yeah. Yeah, John, just to shift gears a little bit, the other big story we've been following so closely here at CNBC has been this Facebook ad boycott. You've joined it starting today at Denny's. I wonder how you gauge that business decision or make that business decision, given the fact that, it is such a big platform. There's so many eyeballs. It's so targeted in terms of who is going to see ads like a Denny's ad.
Sure.
How do you think about that risk? And I guess if you're not advertising there, are there other options?
I think the way we look at it is that it's very difficult not to take a position. And it's important for us not to disparage any company who's otherwise noble and has good intentions and is working in the process of cleaning up policies. But there are times when it does feel like those are a bit slow compared to the other players in the market that provide similar advertising platforms. And so we felt like it was important in this particular case to take a position against hate. The whole idea here is not to divide or disparage companies or shame people, but rather the idea is to use your influence to bring people together to common good, better practices, so that everybody in the marketplace can experience, I think, the welcome that we provided in our organization. We strive to be a model company, and part of that is taking public positions from time to time. But we do want to see people come together to reconcile differences to live in a world where there's a lot more harmony and support and respect for one another. And we think this is part of that journey and process, which is why we engaged.
John Miller, thanks for joining us.